Our stay this year in Uruk is almost over. Thank you so much for spending this time that is not a time in a place that is not a place with us. Soon we will be closing the gates until next year. We began the day yesterday on the land, taking a global perspective and beseeching the gods for aid for those in need. We have poured libations for our ancestors and have risen from the Kur through word and deed. We, as the collective, have gone through a tempering in the past few years. We have come to understand that we are truly a global economy and ecosystem. Germs and famine, war and inflation do not stay within the borders of countries. Personally, many of us have faced fear of death and isolation during the pandemic, what we call the Great Pause. Some have lost family and friends, and as it usually is, the news is full of strife and calamity. Perhaps we begin to suspect that we have been in the underworld for a very long time.
Finding the gates within that have locked us in the underworld in the past, we now step into the light of day and join our light to the light of the sun.
First was Namu, goddess of the primeval sea. A cosmic mountain formed in the sea, made of the perfect union of the god of heaven called An and the goddess of earth called Ki.
Their passion ignited the sky. And Ki became heavy with child.
An and Ki gave birth to Enlil, the air god. The birth of Enlil was the event that separated heaven and earth and gave each its form and function. Ereshkigal, Lady of Irkala, Lady of Darkness, widow of Gugalana, who drinks water with the Anunnaki. I say, hail in your mourning, mistress of the seven gates. I say, hail in your sorrow. May we learn to weep for death and feel compassion for even that which we fear. And for this, too, is your painful lesson. Lady of Irkala, help us to move beyond ourselves and our fears and to see all endings with new eyes. Hear us and remember, we say, hail! Hail!
Hail!
Large of heart queen, keen for battle, joy of all the Anuna gods, eldest daughter of the Moon King, supreme lady in her domain, tower among greatest rulers, queen of rarest deeds proclaimed, I hail you, queen of heaven and earth. May we learn of our sovereignty and feel the strength of your girdle, knowing that we too can overcome death. Morning and evening star, help us to see clearly the magnificence of creation that surrounds us. As you rise and set, fill us with your light. Hear us and remember, we say, hail!
Hail!
Utu, the sun at zenith, riding the sky in a horse-drawn carriage, slashing clouds to find truth. Utu, all-seeing and all-knowing. Amna, young hero, will of the ensouled universe, passing through the cosmic gates at the ends of the world. Divine witness, cut disease from our midst. Bestow bountiful harvest and continuation of our species. Hear us and remember, we say hail!
Hail!
me tell you the myth of Etana. In this story, the eagle and a snake make an oath of friendship before the sun god Utu. Utu is a god of justice and of righteousness. Swearing an oath before him is a very serious business. Nevertheless, the eagle betrayed the snake by eating the snake's offspring and destroying her nest. Utu passed judgment on this self-serving act and imprisoned the eagle in a deep pit, away from the light of day and the sky he loved. Meanwhile, King Etana despaired over his barren wife and the inability to provide an heir to the throne. He feared that the land would be torn apart by warring factions when he died. He prayed to Utu for help. Begging for a second chance, the eagle was permitted to assist the king Etana by flying him to the heights above and capturing the plant of life. Having robbed the snake of her offspring, the eagle was able to ensure the king would have a son, an heir, in this manner. The eagle and the snake represent our internal turmoil, the warring factions within us, of nurturing and soaring, magnetic and active, which sometimes sends us into a tailspin.
Etana's barren wife is a metaphor for the barren soul. Etana's realization of his condition is the beginning of his salvation. Admitting his guilt and shame, he prays for planted birth. That is a chance for spiritual rebirth, and he is guided to the path that will take him there. Solar consciousness, the prerogative of Utu, is the crowning achievement for the monarch who, having healed himself, returns to form his own blood family to head his kingdom for a few more generations in Mesopotamia. Utu's main characteristic is righteousness, for he is the power in the light that reveals all that is to be seen, and the foe of darkness and deeds of darkness. We are like King Etana, searching for our sovereignty and our destined natures. Today we pray to Utu to let us rise above the trials and tribulations that we will inevitably face as humans, to help us shine our light on our tribe, forgiving all who have trespassed against us, as Utu has forgiven the eagle.
And so we offer this prayer to Utu. Emerging from the great below and gazing upwards, Utu, great physician, father of the black-headed, wearing a lapis lazuli beard in the Ibabar. Utu, great hero, focus of the assembly, king, bison running over the mountains. Utu, bison running over the mountains, a young wild cow wandering alone, a young gazelle caught in a trap. Utu, the son born with the city to Ningal and Mi'ianana, a bull, a cedar fed with water, thriving among cypresses, holy ray of sun, patient-hearted, playful, radiant light. He is iridescent radiance. Then, as my king comes forth, the heavens tremble before him, and the earth shakes before him. After he has left the palace, he aids in the great below. The heavens await. May the bolts of heaven cross in his carriage pulled by strong horses. The stars in the night sky are awestruck and fade before his brilliance. His mother spreads damp reeds in the street. She spreads her protection towards Utu. He has raised his heads over the mountain. He is indeed their king. Utu, who decrees judgments for all countries, the Lord, the son of Ningal, who renders decisions for all countries, the Lord who is highly skilled at verdicts, the son of Enlil, highly knowledgeable, and majestic Utu, the son of Nana. Utu has placed the crown on his head. The Lord, the son of Ningal, holds the 50 rays in his hand and thunders over the mountains like a storm. He has lifted his head over the land. My king, Utu, you cross all the shining mountains like an eagle. He has lifted his gaze over the mountains.
We have been through the curve and back, regenerating and ascending. Something has died and is being released. We no longer allow others to walk through our minds with their dirty feet. Instead, we embrace the light of the sun. We are composting old forms that are no longer needed and stepping into a new way. Compost is fertilizer for what comes next as we rebuild the earth with our thoughts and deeds. Take these seeds and name them to symbolize our new start. Each seed is a new project, and as you plant it, you help to form the foundation of the new earth. Freed from the underworld to glory in the warmth of Utu's rays. Hold your stone, and we will go around asking each of you to name your piece of earth. Then we ask that you bring your stone to the altar and place it in this bowl. For those of you who are at home, you may put your intention in the comments if you like.
I call you regeneration and the next step for this festival, this place, and these people.
I call you serenity, that all wounds may be healed and all arguments may end in the silence that is the sleep of death.
I call you fertility, that all these seeds that we plant will grow and sprout and fill the earth with positive energy and good deeds.
I name you hope, to banish all desperation.
I name you joyful song, to lift the spirits of your people.
I call you compassion, to understand the troubles of all our fellow citizens.
We dream our dreams and plant our seeds and
Hearken to the world's rebirth. We think our thoughts and do our deeds. May manifest our love on earth. We dream our dreams and plant our seeds, and hearken to the world's rebirth. We think our thoughts and do our deeds, make manifest our love on earth. We dream our dreams and plant our seeds, and hearken to the world's rebirth. We think our thoughts and do our deeds, make manifest our love on earth.
Each day, as the sun rises and chases away the night, we remember that no matter how bad it may seem, the sun will rise again. We remember that we are part of a larger whole, a planet that is interconnected, a community that might sometimes have differences, but follows the old gods. As a symbol of the symbiosis, we pledge to take a portion of the proceeds from this festival and donate it to our designated charity, the World Food Program.
We remember that each of us may experience periods of trouble in our lives, but that Spirit will always be there to help us through them. These troubles are not punishments, but rather difficult times when we have opportunities to learn lessons and to grow. Spirit wants us to be happy, joyful, loved, but sometimes the foibles of life intervene. So be grateful that this is a time of plenty for you, your heart full of community and the worship of the elder gods, and remember others whose lives have been affected by troubles, the oppressed, the hungry, and the homeless, who are also part of our tribe.
We will bury this carnelian on the land to remember what has happened here, and to plant the seeds for the burgeoning worship of these gods. You may plant your seeds at home when we close the gates to help us remember and to be nourished, as we all are, by the sun god Utu.
Utu, brightener of gloom, illuminator of darkness, dispeller of darkness, illuminator of the broad earth, thank you for your presence and your blessings. We bid you hail and farewell.
Hail and farewell.
Inanna, Queen of heaven and earth, thank you for your presence and your blessings. We bid you hail and farewell.
Hail and farewell.
Arishgagal, Lady of Irkala, Lady of Darkness, we thank you for your presence and your blessings, and we bid you hail and farewell.
Hail and farewell.
We are at the end of our festival, and we thank you all for your participation and for holding the faith with us for the return of our ancient wise ones. We've been in the Kerr for the past few years, and sometimes I feel like it's been my whole lifetime. And it's time now to arise reborn. Step into the sunlight, my siblings. Step into the land of the living. And so we say,
Close the gates!